Oh, hey folks. Well, you probably are wondering what I'm doing right now. Well, I'm going to tell you. Me and my truck got into an argument and my truck won, and that is it had a little hissy fit. My 2010 2500 GMC Sierra, the truck that I love so enduringly, decided that its brake line had to get a clog in it, and my nice little caliper that is connected to that decided that the bleeder valve and everything else was going to break off, and it was too rusty to use again. So now I've taken it apart, I've troubleshot the issue, and I have to go get some new parts in order to get my truck back up and running. This is going to be a fun one, but these are the things you have to do if you're a homeowner, a vehicle owner, or just in general don't want to spend a lot of money paying someone else to fix your stuff. So hang on, let's go.
As you can tell, you'll be able to see very
All right, definitely locked up. Okay, so first look, it looks like the rotor is still good. These are new rotors. The pads look fine too. I only had a slight smell, burning smell, and the temperature was a little bit higher on this one, like 50 to 80 degrees higher than the other ones. But as I take a look at the caliper, I'm seeing that we have a lot of rust. I'm looking at this bleeder valve and, what was the bleeder valve, and either I can have a piston in here that's locked up, I've got two of them in here, or this flex line going back, I could have a clog in there. Flex lines are very, very susceptible to getting clogs in them, which sucks, but I can't even bleed it, and I'm not going to be able to get that out to even bleed it. So I think I'm just going to go to the store and try and find a new flex line and caliper for this, but everything else looks just fine. Pretty easy troubleshooting, but an expensive fix. Alright guys, so see this? See this right here? That's anti-seize. You're always supposed to put that on these bolts. I've worked on this before and I've learned the hard way. You got to take preventative measures, so check that out. It actually worked. Alright, let's get this brake fluid out of here. With an impact wrench, you're able to do a lot of this on a bench top, which is nice. These pads have been wearing actually very evenly, so I caught this right as it started, so I still have a lot of life left in these pads. Look at that, that looks awesome. They're not cracked or broken or overheated. Yeah, that looks great. Alright, so finally made it back. We have everything new. Like I said, it's so much easier just to do this on a tabletop. So what I found is that whenever these are brand new, they torque these freaking slider bolts down so tight, it's almost impossible to get them off if you're not using an impact wrench. I've had that happen more than once, probably like 5 times, where I had to get out an impact wrench just to get these off. So now it's just a practice. So I'm going to go ahead and prep everything up here. We'll get it back over. We'll get everything mounted, and then we'll do the brake hose or flex line, whatever you want to call it. So I use standard brake grease. Stuff works pretty good. You can see these were used, but where I had the grease, it protected everything really well on the slides. So we're going to reuse these again, and then we'll change everything at the regular interval. And look how clean this is. This is awesome. I don't have to do too much, but I am going to re-grease everything here. Make sure it's nice and clean and good and all that stuff. All right, let's take a break real quick here. As I look at my tools, Ryobi, people sometimes give me a hard time because I'm using them. Well, guess what? I'm not a professional mechanic, but I've been doing this all my life, and if I'm not going to use it every single day, I'm going to get tools that have the power, but they don't break the bank. So that's why I'm using Ryobi in these videos. And I think if you're not a professional mechanic, but you're spending $500 on an impact wrench or something like that, I would really rethink what the value is bringing it to you, because this is going to put out, you know, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque and still break some of the toughest bolts out there. And if you can't break it, then you need to put a big old cheater bar or torque bar on it in order to get it off. But anyways, that's just my 2 thoughts on this. Let's go ahead and get this all together now. Now, some people ask me why I'm greasing the bottom side of where the sliders go, and there's an old mechanic that told me that if I do this, it's going to prevent rust jacking below it, and that's going to prevent this getting a locked up pad on here. And I'm pretty psyched about that because it's worked out really well. You can see the other ones came off pretty simple too. All right, so this has got to be the tightest fit possible because you do not want to strip this, and I pray that I don't. It's a 13. All right, it's really tight, so I'll give it a little bit of a crank. Oh shit, the bracket's breaking. All right, I'm gonna have to put a wrench on here to hold it. Okay, I had to change the angle. Oh, I got it. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a task this has been. But I did spray penetrant on this. You know, it's been on there for a couple of hours, letting it soak. I had to spray it a couple times, wiggling this back and forth, being as gentle as possible. Okay, so we got the new hose on. Let's go ahead and put this back, and we can start the installation of that, and then hopefully just bleed it and we should be done. Okay, so we've got everything just about done. Now we have to tighten, what is this, the band bolt, whatever it is. We have to tighten the bolt for the brake hose, and I've already set the torque for that. But I'm very particular on doing this because this is very important. You don't want to crush this. Okay, so we hit it. Okay, push.
All the way down?
Yep, all right. Let go. Wait till it's all the way up.
It's up.
Okay, push.
All the way down.
everybody. So that didn't take that long. It was, I would say, right around 3 hours. And the reason why is because I had to go get some parts. But all in all, it wasn't that hard. Now, what I can say is that it took some determination to get it done. Getting the flex hose or the brake hose off of there, it took some patience and took some time, took some practice. Now, here's the big thing. I could have just went and took it to a garage, but I'm trying to do things myself. I have 7 kids. I don't make a lot of money, so I've got to be able to do things myself. That means I have to learn skills, which means Ryobi, having these tools right here, they really do help whenever you're trying to learn to do things because it doesn't break the bank. It allows you to learn on a cheaper scale, better economy, helps your family, and all that great stuff, right? So, what I'm trying to say is learn something, take a risk, make sure that you do it with an education behind it, and you do as much research as you possibly can. And then you'll be better for it in the long run because you're going to be able to help your family, you're going to be able to help your kids, and having tools that you can afford that really make the job that much easier really makes the difference in the success of a project. So if I would have taken this to a shop, probably $600 to $1,000 depending on what shop I took it to. I wouldn't take it to a cheap shop because I believe in my family and my safety, so I would take it to a reputable shop, so it would probably be right around $1,000 with all the parts. I paid just under $140 for everything, and I was able to do it myself. So everybody, I hope that you appreciate the video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and please share the video as well. It helps me and it helps the channel bring you all this amazing content. And we will see you in the next video. God bless and take care.